grts.gm. There you can also monitor GRTS Radio Live. That does it for this edition of the news. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of our programs and see you at 10.
من الخوف والجوع ونقص من الأموال والأنفس والثمرات وبشر الصابرين الذين إذا أصابتهم مصيبة قالوا إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون إنكم بشيء من الخوف والجوع ونقص من الأموال والأنفس والثمرات وبشر الصابرين الذين إذا أصابتهم مصيبة قالوا إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون
Hello and welcome to this maiden edition of the Public Utility Regulatory Authority panel on SIM card registration. My name is Ibrahim Balde. Tonight's program we have Ms. Ida Mbouk. She's the Deputy Director of Legal Licensing and Enforcement from the Public Utility Regulatory Authority. And next to her is Mrs. Jamilatu Sedi Fai, Consumer Affairs Manager. And the last but not the least is Solo Sima, Director of Consumer Affairs. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Okay, my name is Ibrahim Abalde. To begin with, you from the legal aspect of it, what is this SIM card registration all about, Ms. Ambo?
Thank you. That's a really good question. SIM card registration, when we talk about SIM card registration, we are referring to a process which is to record and verify the details of a subscriber, of a GSM operator. So any subscriber of Africell, Comium, QSOL, or Gamcell would go in person to any of their GSM operators, either the head office or the customer care centers, and produce for them 4 of the acceptable photo IDs in original form, which are the biometric ID card, the biometric driver's license, the voter's card biometric, or your national passport. When you present those details to the customer care agent, they would now record and verify your name, your date of birth, your gender, your telephone number, of course, and various other details that they may also wish to know. And that is the process of SIM card registration, being able to identify the person who is using the service that is provided by the GSM operator.
Okay. Well, I will go back to you either a little later, but before yeah, we continue, let me go to Solo Sima. I mean, one may ask, why is this registration? Because the GSM companies, the first GSM company to be initiated in this country is Camcel. It was in May 25th, 2001 that we have the history of GSM companies in the country. And then now we are talking about 4 GSMs, and now that's is required for all customers to register their SIM cards. Why?
Thank you very much. Thank you, our viewers. I think the question you asked is a very important one, especially the inference that you made to Gamcel, which, if our viewers can remember, when they came into the country, they started registering SIM cards. But when you buy their SIM cards, although it was a bit more expensive then,
$500.
Exactly. But with competition, everything has come down now. But that was the idea, that people were registering their SIM cards. As soon as you buy, they take your details. That is your ID card. To take your name, address, and date of birth. Basically, it's the same thing that we're doing. It's nothing new. And Gamtel have been doing it since the 80s with the landlines. That you register your SIM, your phone, because they have to take details of you so they can send you a bill. So, based on that, and based on what is happening around the world, we felt that SIM card registration is very important, especially in the world that we live in now. That it's for personal security we're looking at mainly. Well, of course, there are other security issues in terms of national security and cyber security. And what I mean by that is that people are receiving text messages nowadays, which is telling you that you've won $1 million, $1 million, $3 million, and people are losing money out of this. And these things are targeted at people who are sat at who are put in charge of money, who are targeted so that they can exploit money from them. We even have instances where people will be giving money as an enticer to say, I'm your friend, you're my friend. They send you $100 as a start just so that they can get money of you at a later part. We have had complaints about all these things, and these are things that people have been telling us, and these are things that everybody else is experiencing around the world. So we felt that it is necessary that we take responsibility for our own SIM cards that we use, because the SIM card and technology the way it is now, lots of things can be done with SIM cards. Money transfers can be done, and a lot of other things that people can actually do, transactions can be done. And this poses threat to people and their money and their belongings. So it means if I can send money to Basse through my phone, which is happening around the world, it means I would need the security to know that the money I'm sending, I'm the one sending it, and who I want to receive can receive it. That's just one of the examples I'm giving.
So before going further, I'm sorry for breaking you. It's like what you are saying in essence is that with development, comes also changes. We've seen the proliferation of GSM companies in this country. It's so competitive. SIM card used to be $500. Now it's, I think the cheapest is $10, which means now it's so much a lot of competition, healthy competition going on. But again, there is some people who are, in other words, like doing a counter sort of revolution. That is, here they are, SIM cards, the GSM companies are becoming cheaper in terms of SIM cards, but again, there are others who are infiltrating the network, trying to, draw it a little bit back.
I think that's exactly it. The SIM card registration, when we started it, there was a bit of apprehension from certain quarters of people. But once they understood what it was for, then they understood that this is for them. It's for their personal security. Because in terms of marriages, we've heard people say, they've been receiving silent calls from people that they don't know, and this creates problems in people's marriages. And we have a lot of instances where that has happened, and that people are telling us this is something that they don't want to happen. They want to be able to have their phones and to be able to conduct their business in a law-abiding manner and in a responsible manner. And they don't want people to use their phones to be a nuisance on others. So it's only fair that we all take responsibility for our SIM cards, what we have and what we are going to use it for, which is to, to go about our businesses and do anything that we want to do on it, as long as, it doesn't infringe on others. So basically, it's taking responsibility for the SIM card that we have to say, I own this, and it is in my name.